question here is ESC Gaming. You left them for a couple of days, it was like a week, and then you rejoined them. Why did you leave them in the first place? Because you were with them for quite a while. It was like, I think a year or 1.5 years that you were with them, and then all of a sudden you announced that you were looking for a new team. What was the philosophy behind that?
I'm in ESC since the release of StarCraft 2, and I wasn't really looking for a new team. There were just some problems. Like the main problem was that our manager is setting up a new bootcamp center in Cologne, and he just had a lot of work there, and then had maybe not enough time for the StarCraft 2 team. So it wasn't everything perfect, but then we met in Krefeld here, and we had a long talk, and everything's worked out now, and everything's fine again. So.
All right, so it was quite natural that you came back to ESC. It was just a short stint, so to speak.
Yeah, right.
All right. Now, in my opinion, and I've read a few comments saying you did really well in 2011. 2011 was kind of your peak year, so to speak. And then in early 2012, you had a couple of MLGs, and you did well there. You upset against MMA, you beat him, and a lot of people thinking you were really on the rise. How did you experience this, this era where you were really growing as a player, and people were starting to notice you more and more, also outside of the German scene?
Yeah, and last year Mac worked really fine in every matchup, and then at the end of 2011, there was always one matchup where I really struggled. First of all, I changed my playstyle in TVP to Bio, and I needed a long time to make it work for me. And then I struggled a lot in Berserk after I finally figured out the Protoss matchup, so I had some problems there. Now my TVZ is a lot better again, and my TVP is sometimes good, sometimes bad. It always depends. So I guess now, like in the beginning of next year, hopefully every matchup for me is good, and then I can get better results again.
All right, yeah, because what I was going to say, after the MLG series, you kind of disappeared off the radar, so to speak. I don't think at the EPS Germany, I've not seen you on the podium since then, am I right?
The last EPS I played, I finished 4th place. I kind of lost the 3rd place to a technical problem. Like I played with soccer for 3rd place, and this PC went down, and I basically won the map, but Deadman told me, it wasn't his computer, it wasn't his fault, so I kind of have to give a regame for him, and then I lost the regame. And but I mean, like my last better result was like 2 months ago. I played in the Windows 8 Cup here in Take TV as well, and I won the soccer versus Monty versus Delphi and finished 2nd place. So it was not too bad.
All right, so let's rephrase it then. Internationally speaking, in the German scene, you've always been a main man, but after the MLG run, it was kind of like you disappeared off the international radar. You didn't play a lot of international events, really. What was the idea behind that? Was that did you do that just so you could add a little extra practice, or was it something that the organization wanted you to do, wanted you to focus more on Germany?
I guess, like at the moment, or especially in the last months, Terran had in general a really hard time. Like, especially the Europe scene is dominated by Zerg players. So, and I had really big problems in TVZ, so I didn't want to go to really big events because I knew I will face a lot of Zergs and I will have a hard time to beat them. So it would kind of be a waste of time and money. So, first of all, I wanted to focus on that matchup to make it work again for me.
All right. A little bit generic about StarCraft 2 before we start rounding off the interview. People have always said two things about you. One, you're really good at punts in general, really chilled out, hanging back, building up a mech army and then building up. But also that you play really controlled, but at a rather low APM. Are these things that, to your opinion, as the game progresses, start playing to your strengths or start playing against you? Are you maybe afraid that the lower APM and the kind of predictability that you bring with your name, just like Red did before, do you think that might turn against you as the game progresses and people start, figuring things out and counters to your builds?
I mean, there are a lot of ways to play mech. You can do timing pushes, you can just turtle, you can do other stuff. So it's of course a little bit predictable, and that's why I don't play on a Smurf, for example, because on a Smurf my opponent would know I play mech all the time, so I would have an easier time, but it's worse for practice. So I always play on my main account on ladder to play against the counter style for my opponents. And about the APM, I guess in some situations it would be better to have a little bit higher APM, but overall I don't really think about that a lot.
All right, final question then. Heart of the Swarm is coming up. I'm not sure whether you've been playing it.
So far I only played really in the beginning of the beta, a couple of days or weeks, not too much, and then I stopped completely. But I guess like next year, maybe like 1 or 2 months before the beta is done, or before the game is done, I will practice Heart of the Swarm as well and focus on that more.
So do you have any thoughts on the game? I mean, the obvious question will be, are you still going to play really one-sided, well, not really one-sided, but mainly mech? Or have you seen things in the game that you think, well, maybe I'll try this out?
To be honest, I was even thinking about playing Terran and Protoss a little bit and then figuring out what I want to focus on. But I really like the changes in the last 2 patches for Heart of the Swarm, even though I didn't play it. I always follow the the balancing and patch notes and changes. There were nice stuff about the medivacs, about the Thors, about the Raven. So I guess I will still try Protoss a little bit, try Terran, and then I guess I will end up playing Terran again, but I'm not sure how it will work out there.
Alright, well, good to talk to you finally. We've not been able to within the last home story cup, so it's good to finally get around to doing that. And if you want to tell us where you'll be at next, where your fans can see you, maybe give some shout outs to teams and sponsors and whatnot.
Yeah, I just want to thank all my fans and my team, ESC-ICY BOX, and if you want to know where I'm going to attend, then you can just follow me on Facebook at facebook.com/GoOdy SC2.
All right, thank you.